They say the sky has no borders. But when Pakistan's jets take flight, even the clouds seem to stand at attention. In a world dominated by military giants and billion-dollar war machines, one Air Force has managed to command the respect of both East and West, not through wealth, not through sheer numbers, but through something far rarer: precision, discipline, and brilliance that no radar can measure. Today, NATO's strategists and China's defense thinkers aren't just watching Pakistan's Air Force, they're studying it. Because somewhere between courage and calculation, Pakistan has done what few believed possible. It has made the world's most powerful nations stop and take notes. While much of the world has been captivated by the grand displays of aerial technology from the United States, Russia, or China, something far more intriguing has been quietly taking shape in South Asia. The rise of Pakistan's Air Force as a tactical underdog that has forced even the world's largest military alliances to pay attention. For decades, Pakistan's air defense capabilities were seen as limited by budget constraints and a lack of access to cutting-edge technology. Yet, through discipline, ingenuity, and an unrelenting focus on pilot excellence, the Pakistan Air Force has managed to transform those very limitations into strengths. Its approach to air combat has become a case study in how adaptability can trump raw power. Instead of relying on superior numbers or next-generation jets, Pakistani pilots have learned to turn every sortie into a test of precision, deception, and timing. Theirs is a strategy of brain over brawn, where success depends less on the machine and more on the mind guiding it. This has created a new kind of respect, the kind that cannot be bought or borrowed, only earned through performance. When NATO analysts and Chinese defense observers began noticing how effectively Pakistan's Air Force adapted to changing aerial combat doctrines, it wasn't mere curiosity that drew them in. They realized that Pakistan was quietly rewriting the script for modern warfare. Every simulation, every training drill, and every real engagement revealed a force that could think 3 moves ahead, using tactics designed not to outgun opponents, but to outsmart them. In an age dominated by automation and artificial intelligence, Pakistan's emphasis on pilot intuition stands out as a reminder that war, at its core, is still fought by humans who can anticipate, improvise, and act under pressure. That human element has become Pakistan's secret weapon, a subtle but decisive advantage that has earned admiration even from those who once underestimated it. The rise of this tactical underdog sends a powerful message across the geopolitical spectrum. Modern air power isn't defined by who has the biggest jet or the deepest pocket, but by who can make the smartest decision at the highest speed. Pakistan has done what few thought possible. It has built a reputation not on wealth or weaponry, but on wisdom, courage, and a relentless pursuit of excellence in the skies. The JF-17 Thunder stands as one of the most unexpected yet remarkable achievements in modern military aviation, and it has completely shifted the way global powers evaluate Pakistan's air capabilities. Initially dismissed as a budget-friendly fighter developed in partnership with China, the JF-17 was never meant to rival the world's elite jets in terms of cost or complexity. But that's precisely what makes it so fascinating. It wasn't built to compete on the same playing field, it was built to change the rules of the game. Designed with simplicity, flexibility, and cost-effectiveness in mind, this aircraft represents a philosophy that raw intelligence can be more powerful than raw expenditure. Over time, as Pakistan refined the Thunder through successive blocks of upgrades, it became clear that this wasn't just an affordable aircraft. It was a strategic weapon designed to fit the exact needs of the Pakistan Air Force rather than the expectations of the global arms market. It carries modern avionics, radar systems, and weapons integration capabilities that rival far more expensive platforms, yet it does so at a fraction of the cost, allowing Pakistan to field a large, agile, and combat-ready fleet without drowning in debt. What makes NATO and China suddenly take a closer look isn't just the aircraft itself, it's how Pakistan uses it. In live exercises and real combat situations, the JF-17 has proven its reliability, versatility, and effectiveness in contested environments. During operations, the jet has showcased not only technical competence, but also the ability to integrate perfectly with Pakistan's evolving combat doctrine, emphasizing quick decision-making, coordinated strikes, and electronic warfare tactics. NATO analysts are studying how a mid-tier nation like Pakistan managed to extract such performance from a platform that costs a fraction of the F-16 or Eurofighter. The JF-17's success challenges the very foundation of Western defense thinking, which often equates effectiveness with expense. Meanwhile, China, though a partner in its creation, has been equally impressed by how Pakistan operationalized the jet, tailoring it for its own strategic environment in ways even Chinese engineers didn't anticipate. For the global military community, the JF-17 Thunder has become more than an aircraft. It's a statement. It symbolizes the emergence of a new era where innovation, discipline, and clever resource allocation can outmatch sheer technological dominance. Pakistan didn't just build a fighter jet, it built proof that strategic brilliance can turn modest tools into monumental advantages. And that lesson is echoing through the halls of NATO command and Chinese defense think tanks alike. February 2019 marked a turning point in modern aerial warfare. A day when Pakistan's Air Force demonstrated not just skill, but strategic mastery that left the world watching in astonishment. What began as a high-tension standoff rapidly evolved into a defining moment of military precision. In a matter of minutes, Pakistani pilots not only defended their airspace, but executed a complex operation that downed multiple Indian aircraft, including a MiG-21 and a Su-30, while returning home without suffering a single loss. It was more than a battle, it was a message. The operation proved that Pakistan's Air Force could deliver under extreme pressure, using discipline, calculation, and timing that even seasoned NATO strategists found remarkable. Western analysts, accustomed to seeing power defined by technology and scale, were forced to rethink their assumptions. What they witnessed was a textbook example of modern tactical warfare, a seamless combination of radar deception, aerial maneuvering, and situational awareness that revealed the true depth of Pakistan's training and intelligence coordination. The aftermath of that engagement rippled far beyond South Asia. NATO think tanks began quietly dissecting every second of the encounter, analyzing how a relatively smaller force managed to outplay a larger, better-equipped adversary without triggering full-scale escalation. The answer lay not in the aircraft or weaponry, but in the human element, the calm execution under pressure, the precise communication between command and pilots, and the foresight to control the narrative as much as the battle itself. It became clear that Pakistan's Air Force had evolved far beyond regional defense. It had become a global case study in psychological warfare, operational clarity, and measured response. NATO analysts weren't just studying the event, they were trying to understand the mindset that made such flawless execution possible. China, too, was watching closely. As Pakistan's strategic partner and co-developer of the JF-17, Beijing saw the 2019 encounter as validation of its collaborative defense efforts, but also as a revelation of how Pakistan had taken that partnership and turned it into operational brilliance. Chinese military observers began documenting how Pakistan's pilots had adapted real-world tactics to complement their equipment, making full use of early warning systems, electronic countermeasures, and low-visibility flight maneuvers that confused even advanced radar. For both NATO and China, that single day in February became a reminder that air superiority isn't bought, it's earned through mastery of timing, control, and courage under fire. Pakistan had done more than defend its borders. It had redefined the global understanding of how modern aerial warfare can be won without overwhelming force. In the age of drones, artificial intelligence, and unmanned stealth fighters, it's easy to forget that the most powerful weapon in any air force isn't the jet, it's the pilot flying it. This is where Pakistan's Air Force stands apart and why both NATO and China have turned their attention toward its methods. The human factor within Pakistan's Air Command has become something of a legend in defense circles, not because of bravado, but because of how methodically it's been built. The Pakistan Air Force doesn't just train pilots to fly, it trains them to think, react, and lead under the most unpredictable conditions imaginable. The emphasis isn't on technology doing the job, it's on the human mind mastering technology. Every cadet that enters the Pakistan Air Force Academy is molded to embody discipline, instinct, and adaptability, the very traits that form the backbone of their global reputation. From day one, they're taught that air combat is not about pressing buttons or relying on superior machines, but about judgment, anticipation, and courage when every second counts. This training philosophy has become a subject of study for both NATO and Chinese defense observers. NATO's tactical research divisions have analyzed how Pakistan's pilots consistently demonstrate situational awareness that rivals that of pilots trained in far more technologically advanced programs. What intrigues Western analysts is how Pakistani pilots maintain a calm and calculated mindset in live engagements, where the margin of error is razor thin. Their ability to combine intuition with disciplined execution reflects a training system that emphasizes human precision above mechanical perfection. Unlike many air forces where pilots are dependent on AI-assisted systems or pre-coded engagement patterns, Pakistani pilots are trained to think independently, to improvise mid-flight, and to adapt to threats in real time. This human-centered approach ensures that every mission is not only about survival, but about seizing initiative, forcing the adversary into reaction mode. China's interest, on the other hand, is rooted in understanding how Pakistan has managed to achieve such high psychological and tactical performance with fewer resources. The Chinese Air Force, known for its rapid modernization and technological advancements, recognizes that hardware alone doesn't guarantee dominance. Pakistan has taught them that mental endurance, teamwork, and adaptability can transform even a modest squadron into a formidable force. In recent years, Chinese defense institutes have sent delegations to study Pakistan's pilot training programs, focusing on the psychological conditioning and scenario-based combat exercises that sharpen instinctual decision-making. The result of this global observation is clear. Pakistan's Air Force has turned its pilots into its greatest asset, men and women who embody the perfect balance between composure and aggression, intuition and precision. In an era where machines are taking over warfare, Pakistan continues to prove that the sharpest edge in the sky is still human. In recent years, the global perception of military power has undergone a quiet but undeniable transformation, and at the center of that shift stands Pakistan's Air Force. What was once regarded as a regional force is now being studied by both NATO and China as a symbol of strategic efficiency and evolving military intelligence. The world's largest alliances have realized that respect in modern warfare is no longer dictated by the size of a nation's defense budget, but by the sophistication of its thinking. Pakistan's Air Force has redefined that standard. Through sheer discipline, creative strategy, and an unmatched commitment to operational excellence, it has earned recognition from powers that rarely acknowledge smaller militaries. This new wave of global respect isn't built on propaganda or self-promotion. It's built on undeniable performance in real situations, backed by results that force the world's most advanced military minds to take notice. NATO's growing interest in Pakistan's aerial doctrine is driven by a sense of realism. In their internal analyses, they have observed how Pakistan manages to maintain readiness, efficiency, and strategic clarity with far fewer resources than most Western nations. The adaptability of the Pakistan Air Force, especially in modern electronic warfare and precision-based operations, has become a benchmark for cost-effective military structure. NATO analysts are intrigued by how Pakistan maintains balance, integrating technology where necessary but prioritizing human decision-making above all else. They recognize that Pakistan's success lies in its ability to achieve what they call combat sustainability, the art of maintaining peak performance even in prolonged conflicts without exhausting resources. This lesson is particularly valuable for smaller NATO members who are trying to modernize their air forces without draining their economies. Pakistan's model has proven that innovation, when rooted in realism, can outperform extravagance. China's close observation has a different motivation. As Pakistan's defense partner, Beijing sees in the Pakistan Air Force a reflection of its own strategic ambitions, but with a uniquely refined edge. The Chinese military has been particularly impressed by Pakistan's ability to integrate indigenous aircraft, like the JF-17, into active defense networks and extract maximum value from them. Chinese think tanks study how Pakistan applies a flexible, pilot-driven doctrine that blends Eastern discipline with Western-style tactical analysis. To them, Pakistan represents the future of hybrid air warfare, a force that blends low-cost innovation, human adaptability, and strategic restraint. The global recalibration of respect toward Pakistan's Air Force is therefore not just about admiration. It's about recognition of mastery. The world's largest alliances now know that Pakistan doesn't just fly to defend its skies, it flies to redefine the principles of modern aerial power.